I'm live. It is about 11 minutes until regular showtime. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead 11 minutes. If not, here, we're live here on a Saturday, December 6th, live from the ranch. Snowy, snowy, snowy is what it looks like here. Oh, full moon really makes it easy to see things. All right, Mr. Bulgy, what you doing here? What's going on here?
Well, Scott, about 15 minutes ago, it wasn't doing this. So, enjoy your day up there, man.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bulgy. It's going to be a good morning, Dave. Morning, Waylon. I know we got wind. Wind. And I got to drive to Bismarck today so we can get to the Stockman's Ball. Yeah. All right, Mr. Bulgy. Yeah, I got your message here. That's hitting us. Or I should say, I'll probably be driving into it. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right. I'm the blue dot, so I'm be headed to Bismarck. You're down in that area, so yeah, we and then if you put it in motion, it just gets worse. The whole works. Oh, there it goes. Boom. By the time I hit the road, it's going to be going like crazy. So, yeah. All right. Mr. Cox, good morning. I talked to, let's see, who did I talk to? Can't even remember. Anyway, I had the Broadband Association meetings in Bismarck this week here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and one of your buddies down that way. So, Wayne, good morning. You're in Medora. Good. Brian Warner, good morning. One Shot Cap, good morning here. Mr. Bulgy, my wife says, well, what time do you want to leave? I said, we're leaving as soon as I'm done with the show. Because it's probably going to take me an extra hour and a half to get to Bismarck today. Depends, though. Depends on the temperature and if it's going to stick. I was in Spearfish. Thought it would be ugly all the way back yesterday here from Spearfish, and it was actually really, really nice driving conditions. So, where am I going here? I think I got everything ready to go. Oh, maybe not. I better double check this. Probably help if I get today's sponsors ready to go, right? I think so. Get this ready. We got that ready. So, yeah. Other than that, what the heck? Yeah, when winter came, boy, it came and it's staying. See a couple days in the 40s up in this area here next Monday, Tuesday, with a chance of rain, and then back down freezing temps again. So it'll be interesting. Got my Black Hills cow elk with a lot of help from my son. Did you? Good. Congratulations, man. I am shocked. I thought the Black Hills would have more snow. I really did. When we went down to Spearfish yesterday, we were just looking. We could see Terry Peak. I think they're just making their snow, but I really thought you guys would have more. I think I need a new bottle. Is that old brother where art thou? I killed this horse a week ago. I think she's starting to turn. That's how it's like 5 years into that. Ooh. Morning, Josh. Morning. All right, well, I can't remember. East River deer in South Dakota one more weekend, huh? One more day, I should say. One more day. Giddy up. Nothing on that here. All right, stations here. Let's see here. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Central coming up in 15 seconds. Here, I'll give you a countdown so you can see what the delay is on the YouTube side so you can time things out a little bit better. Unless you're on the air doing news right now. But anyway, 8 o'clock Central Time coming up on Mark. Let's get Kevin on here. There it is. I think. Can't quite see the numbers this morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Kevin.
How are we doing today?
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I guess.
You guys getting any snow up there yet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was just saying on my YouTube channel here that I went down to spearfish yesterday. My wife had to recert as on her CPR. And
Okay.
I was shocked, man. You get south of your way, there's hardly any snow down there.
Yeah, it's last couple days, a lot of it's melted. If you would have come closer to last weekend, we had a pretty good coverage of snow, especially up here in spearfish. But the last couple days, it's really kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like I think ours is here to stay, man. It is predominantly racially white up in this area.
But I don't know. The hills it's always like that. It's always, we get a stretch of just god awful cold, and then it warms back up and the sun comes out and everything kind of melts off. And I don't know what it is about the hills, but it's just kind of the hidden little banana belt of the state.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. That's like just like in my area, this little southwest corner. We're like 15 degrees warmer than most everywhere else in the state too, but nothing like the hills in that area. But I see Terry Peak, they must be making snow because coming into the Spearfish or Belle Fourche area, you could see Terry Peak. Now that they've ground that hill down with the mining stuff, you can see it a long ways away, but they must be making snow.
Yeah, I'm sure they've been running it up there for a while. I see, what was it, yesterday I think they opened up, or I've seen something Friday they were opening. I'm not sure exactly what Friday.
I think they got like 3 or 4 runs open is what I seen.
Yeah, and that's usually how they start, is kind of get that main run right there by the big lodge full of snow, and then kind of spread it out from there so they can get the bunny trail and all that kind of opened up first. But heck, it's been years since I've even been up on that hill. We got a friend with a cabin right there, and I'd done it when we had the construction company. We did a bunch of work on some houses and decks up there. But as far as going up there to ski, that's been 20 years ago.
Yeah. No, I've been, it was a couple years ago since I've been snowboarding up there, and I'll do one pass, go down to the PBR bar in the bottom, drink for an hour, and then get the courage to go up and do it again. And I'm a lot faster the second and the third time around, but I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just hurts too much anymore for me.
Oh boy.
I don't even know if I can make it stand up anymore to get my boot buckled in without falling over half a dozen times. Hell, Lord, let alone reach my boot to buckle it. I'm getting so damned old and fat.
Oh well.
Spend too much time sitting in a boat chair.
That's all right though.
I'm not complaining. It was a good year this year. I spent a lot of time in a boat.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your wrap up of it and what the ice is going to look like. Oh, so yeah, I don't think I can say this on the. Well, I could say it on the air. I think people understand my sense of humor. Anyway, so while Dixie was doing her CPR thing in Spearfish, I ran down to Main Street and I was like, oh, hey, that looks like a good hole in the wall bar. and it was just a guy that bought an old bar, and he was in there making something so I went across the street. They wouldn't even give me the time of day, so I came back and at the B&B bar, and I look in, I pop my head, and I'm like, this looks like a place for me. And they had Shake-a-Day, and there was 2 guys and 1 gal there, and the bartender, and he gave me the rules, and the gal says next to me, she says, well, I'll be in Shake-a-Day too. I said, well, here, ladies first. Her first roll, she won the whole pot. So don't tell me chivalry is dead. I helped her win the whole damn pot out there. So yeah, $1,500 out of the whole works. Then the guy looks at me and says, you still want to shake? I'm like, well, you can't build up the pot if you don't shake, right?
Right. Just donate $1 and see what I get.
Yeah, I was hoping for a free drink. I didn't even get. Well, she did buy the whole bar around, which was 3 people, so good enough. All right, Kevin, we got 45 seconds here. I'm going to turn you down and stations. 35 seconds of showtime. 35 seconds on Mark. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Good to have you along here on a, it depends on where you're at in the Dakota Territory. You could be seeing some inclement weather and some tough road conditions, but welcome to another Saturday nonetheless here. Don't forget about the 32nd annual Top Cut Bull Sale, 21 Angus Ranch out in New England, North Dakota, 200 Top Cut bulls coming. Sires like Sitz Dignity, KG Justified, Ellingson Badlands, and many, many others. That's on Saturday, January 31st at the ranch in New England, North Dakota. Bull sale season around the corner. It's exciting because I kind of look forward to that. Well, let's get things straightened out here. Kevin Vaughn with Wild Walleye Outfitters is my guest here. Good morning, Kevin. How you been?
Good morning. Doing good. Getting geared up for this cold weather that seems to be creeping in on us finally.
You know, it's exciting to finally see ice forming in some areas because people have been hounding me. I see it on Facebook. I wish I could just get out and do some ice fishing. And I don't know if the ice is thick enough anywhere around the area just yet because we had such a nice fall going into the winter. I don't even think it's thick enough, is it?
There is up in the hills a few lakes with some fishable ice, just depending on how brave a guy is. But as far as I know, there really isn't much fishable ice yet. I've heard different reports of a few lakes with 3 to 3.5 inches on them. A couple little trout lakes up in the hills with, 3.5 to 4, but nothing I would feel super brave about venturing out on right now.
It could be 2 feet thick, and I'm not brave enough to go out on that stuff. You see, I was in Mobridge during they have a big ice fishing tournament on right outside of Mobridge, right underneath the bridge, right? And I got invited out there, and just drive out straight out to our tent, and you'll find us. And I hit that ice with my pickup, and I just hear them cracks, and I didn't like it. I didn't care for that at all.
Yeah, that's one thing that I don't know. It kind of gets a lot of people. They hear that ice cracking and popping, and it scares them. But when you actually hear that ice talking, cracking, and popping, that's when it's safe. It's when that ice isn't cracking and popping that a guy's got to be a little nervous.
Really?
Yeah. Well, as soon as when it's talking, it's growing. When it's quiet, it's shrinking.
Well, how about when your pickup is in the bottom of Lake Oahe? Is that growing or shrinking there?
Well, I'm guessing some things are shrinking and other things are growing.
Isn't that the truth? I got reports coming in here. Josh, thank you for the reports. I'll get to the mayor of Mobridge says there's no such thing as fishable ice, in my opinion. Okay, so before let's get into kind of a summer wrap up here. So if folks don't remember, I don't know how long have I had you on the program here. This is when you first started getting into guiding and doing some fish guiding. So how long have you been at it now?
Oh God, what's it been? Well, the ice tournament's on year 8, so I think we're coming up on about 9 years of guiding now.
10 years. And
Yeah.
I had you on. I mean, I remember your first post when you decided the very first time to say, I'm going to try to go, guiding and doing some outfitting for fishing. And I had you on the radio, and you started out, and every single time I get you on the radio, it seems like you're growing. You got a good customer base, and things keep working out for you. So tell us, how was your summer? How did it go?
The summer was phenomenal. Just busy. We were seemed like we were fishing 4 or 5 days a week. The bite was phenomenal. They put some new regulations on the Bellfish Reservoir this year, which put a we were actually keeping probably more fish than before when they had the 4 fish limit, just because of the size regulations and stuff. So it was, just a great year.
So, Kevin, I don't know if you can hear me here. You're kind of cutting in and out a little bit here with your phone. But what was the regulation that changed on Bellfish Reservoir again?
They changed the size limit this year. So it used to be you couldn't keep fish between 15 and 18 inches. And this year they changed that so that you could keep 2 fish between 15 and 18 and only have 1 over 20.
Well,
before it was you had to keep 3 of your fish had to be under 15 inches. But in my boat, I made it to where, personally, we just wouldn't keep anything under 13 inches. So it really closed that window up for the keepable fish that we would put in the live well.
When I came down and fished with you a couple of years ago, that was the rule. And we caught a lot of fish at that 18-inch mark that we had to throw back. And now it's exciting to hear that they did switch that. Was it only for that reservoir then?
Yes, that's only for that reservoir. And I haven't heard much from Game Fish and Parks, but it sounds like it's really kind of helped thin out some of them slot fish numbers. They're going to run that for a couple years and then reevaluate it and see kind of where the lake's at. But mostly they did that just because of the fact that the walleye in that slot range were some of the slowest growing fish in the state, to where once they hit that 15 inches, they just weren't growing. And so we just weren't getting the juvenile numbers or the 18-inch and bigger, because them fish were just kind of stunting out between that 15 and 17 and 3/4.
That's really interesting. Then you go up to North Dakota side of things. Then there is no slot limits that I know of on any of the lakes. You go to Sakakawea, I fish the tournament each and every year. And if you're pulling in five fish at 30 inches, you can keep all of them and you have a good chance of winning the tournament. And how do you think that slot limits work? Because there is none on the big lake, and I don't think many of the lakes in North Dakota have any slot limits here, but you still see those big walleye getting caught, and nobody's really complaining about it. South Dakota's got quite a few slot limits. I know all the way over to Lake Sinai and Lake Ponset over there in the eastern side. Does it make a difference?
I personally would wish they would remove all slot limits and just say, it's X amount of fish, your 4 fish, you keep them. And that way, you get guys that say up on the Missouri, you foul hook a 14 and 3/4 inch fish and it's going to die anyway. So instead of throwing that fish in the live well and taking it home and cleaning it, you're just throwing a dead fish back in the water. And I think that would help a lot with that. You look at some of these reservoirs now that are just full of monster fish. You take Fort Peck, for example. It's a 6 fish limit with no size restriction, and you probably would be hard pressed to find a better body of water to catch monster fish in.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's so honestly, I got to say, the restriction I think is more. I don't know. I hate to call it a revenue source for the game fish and parks than anything.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sold that their size restriction is anything more than just them, and I don't see where it does a whole lot of good other than a lot of times a guy's got to throw fish back that are going to die that you just can't legally possess.
Well, I tell you what, we'll talk more on the other side of the break on Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio Network. Cattle producers, the Schrieffer Red Angus timed online production sale is coming up on DV Auction on January 26th through the 31st with 45 coming 2-year-old bulls, 5 registered bred heifers, and 100 commercial open replacement heifers. Free delivery available on all bulls. $100 sale credit to anybody who comes and views the bulls or the bred heifers in January prior to the sale. You can find more information at SchrieferRedAngus.com or DVAuction.com. The Schrieffer Red Angus timed online production sale only on DV Auction January 26th to the 31st.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where local banking is as comfortable as your favorite pair of work boots. Step into our branches and experience a friendly atmosphere, personalized service, and financial expertise. Whether you're a hardworking farmer, a small business owner, or a local resident, we've got the banking solutions that you need. So kick off your boots and let us take care of your financial needs at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com.
Ranchers looking for grass? Join Piper's Auctioneers for 2 exclusive ranch land auctions in the Tri-State Corner. On December 10th, bid on 2,500 acres of pasture, hay, and hunting land in Bowman and Slope counties near Marmarth on the edge of the Badlands and the Little Missouri Valley. Piper's will also offer a 7,000-acre ranch in Bowman and Fallon counties built for year-round livestock production with an incredible hay and cropland base. For full details and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to pipers.com.
The North Dakota Stockman's Foundation will host a night of fun-filled Western elegance at the Stockman's Ball December 6th in Bismarck. Come enjoy prime rib, auctions, entertainment, and dancing to live music. Your support will help the foundation provide hope and opportunity for the cattle industry for this generation and the next through disaster relief, scholarships, research, and more. It's a good time and for a good cause. Call 223-2522 for tickets. That's the Stockman's Ball, December 6th in Bismarck.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran-owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody, to Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition here. And it looks, well, at least here at the ranch, it is starting to snow again here quite a bit here. We got some nasty winds around the area. It's going to be an interesting run here. I'll be at the Stockman's Foundation Ball here tonight in Bismarck. I hope I am anyway. If the roads cooperate with me here today, I'll get up there and be your MC. Looking forward to bull sale season coming around the corner, too. Wild Walleye Outfitters Kevin Vaughn is my guest here. And, talking about slot limits is what we were discussing before we went into the break, Kevin. And, you see, Montana doesn't have them. North Dakota doesn't have them. You were talking on during the break off air about Minnesota and South Dakota's different rules and regulations. And it would be interesting for me to see year by year some of the bigger fish that have been taken throughout all of the states and compare them next to the ones that got slot limits. And see if, because slot limits are put in there in place for what reason? Can you tell me that?
Just to kind of help, supposedly to help regulate harvest so that, for like in the state of South Dakota, so you don't have guys going out and catching 4 30-inch fish and keeping them, or keeping a bunch of juvenile fish that, would possibly grow up. For the most part, that's how I understand the slot limits working in Minnesota, so that lakes are not fished out, possession limits, slot limits, or if they're trying to make it like a trophy lake, they you can only keep one fish over, say 26 plus inches, or your other fish have to be under. So they're trying to, I guess, kind of manipulate the population to keep certain size fish in the reservoir, whether it be to help with reproduction or make it what they consider a trophy lake, so that it's growing bigger fish and there's bigger fish in the lake. That's how I understand most of these slot limits are meant to work.
In theory, I can see that, right? In theory, I'm looking at it going, okay, well, if you don't take so many of these big fish out, there's more big fish in it. However, if you're catching a whole bunch of smaller fish, like when you took me out there, we couldn't keep anything between 15 to 18, so we could keep a 13-inch. But if you're taking those out, I mean, that'd be like shooting all your yearling bucks out of your deer herd and not seeing what they could grow into.
Yep, before they ever had a chance to mature, or even, like a 13-inch fish. I mean, a guy at that point, you got to almost look at a walleye like a perch and say, okay, I would keep a 13-inch perch, but, I don't know. I still, even though it was legal, I still had a hard time cleaning a 13-inch walleye, just because that fish is it's not a mature eater, 14 and a half, 15-inch fish, depending on where you're at, them are your good eating size fish, 16, 17 inches. I think walleye over, you get much over 20 inches on them walleye, and I just don't think they're that great of eating personally. I would rather keep a bunch of 16, 17-inch fish, but that's just me.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to kind of compare it one way or the other, but South Dakota, it depends. There's so many different bodies of water that have different rules and regulations. And if you're going up to the Webster, South Dakota area, whether you're out there or Lake Oahe or Francis Case, or all the way down to the Lake Madison, all the way over to Pactola and Ormond, you got to check the rules and regulations, and because each one of them might have a little bit different twist on what their keep rate is, right?
Yep. Yeah. Always check where you're going, because even throughout the year, you take Hawaii for instance. In the summer months, they actually remove the a slot limit up there just because them fish are out deeper. And when guys are pulling them fish up out of that deeper water, a lot of times they have a tendency of killing them. So they remove that slot limit so that they don't have to be a minimum of 15. And that way, if they kill them smaller fish, then they're allowed to keep them and they're not just going to waste.
How do they do fishing tournaments in South Dakota during the summer? Did they have to? I mean, they got to stick with the rules and regulations, I guess. But honestly, if you can only keep one over a certain amount, it kind of levels the playing field for every single person out there.
Yeah. So in the summer months, you can do catch and release tournaments up until, I want to say it is the 1st of June. And then after that, they're actually kill tournaments where you cannot do catch and release because of the water temps. And then starting October 1st, you can do catch and release tournaments. So most of my tournaments are, we do the series up here, and they are basically, you catch your fish and bring them in and weigh them in, and then they're yours to keep.
Yeah.
You can, do with them as you see fit.
So like Tim is saying here on YouTube, he says Jamestown Reservoir in North Dakota side has a 14-inch minimum size on walleye. So you got to, I mean, I can see that, right? I mean, you got to keep a certain minimum size, but you can keep anything over that. And but it would level the playing field if you can only keep one over 20 some inches. That would make my life a lot easier competing with some of these big boys. I don't know what they do different, Kevin. I mean, I got the same equipment and same electronics and everything, and they just better. I mean, I'm fishing the same area they are, and they're using this live scope, and they're just pulling these things in. It's crazy to see the difference in fishing strategy, I guess.
Well, and I'm imagine, a lot of these guys that are bringing in these big bag limits of, big 30-inch fish, they're definitely utilizing that live scope, and they find them fish on them points, and they basically just track that one fish and throw specifically at it until that one fish bites.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of them guys that are catching them big fish, they have put in the hours to find where them big fish are at in the water column, where they're sitting, and with live scope, the secret's gotten out a lot more, especially up on Lake Oahe. Guys are targeting the trees and pulling crankbaits over them and jigging wraps. With the invention of the internet and Facebook, a lot of these secrets that people just didn't used to know are getting out there, and the information's out there. And there's just, with forward-facing sonar and basically Facebook, a lot of these what used to be secrets and honey holes are just now basically common public knowledge.
Yeah. And, and I'll tell you this too, you could be fishing right next to the guy that is chasing that one big walleye, doing the exact same thing. But for some reason, they can present it better, and they usually end up on the top. I mean, the same guy at the Dakota Walleye Classic's been winning it now 2 years in a row. And we were right next to the guy chasing the same damn things, and we couldn't get nowheres near that, and he could catch them. So it's all about presentation and how you're doing that, I guess, too. So, besides that, I mean, there's so much money you can put in your boat to the point where you still have to be able to fish.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. And you have to be able to, a lot of times now, think outside the box, traditional colors or traditional baits. These fish have seen them so much now that a lot of times it's not so much the bait you're fishing, the style you're fishing, or the presentation, but it's something as subtle as the color.
Yeah.
Or, watching these fish in the water column where a lot of guys walleye angling, okay, you think, well, we're going to strictly fish the bottom for these walleye and we're going to beat that bottom up, when, especially with forward facing sonar, a lot of what I'm seeing is that, a lot of these walleye that a guy catches aren't on the bottom. A lot of times these fish are suspended
Exactly.
in that water column. And, it's with that forward facing sonar and being able to track that bait and drop that bait right on their nose, there's that aspect to it. But then, like I say,
Kevin, hold up there. We'll continue on the other side. We're right up against a break again. Sorry to cut you off here. We'll have more coming up talking about the same issue. We'll be back after these messages. Cattle producers, the Schrieffer Red Angus timed online production sale is coming up on DV Auction on January 26th through the 31st, with 45 coming 2-year-old bulls, 5 registered bred heifers, and 100 commercial open replacement heifers. Free delivery available on all bulls. $100 sale credit to anybody who comes and views the bulls or the bred heifers in January prior to the sale. You can find more information at SchrieferRedAngus.com or DVAuction.com. The Schrieffer Red Angus timed online production sale only on DV Auction, January 26th to the 31st.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where local banking is as comfortable as your favorite pair of work boots. Step into our branches and experience a friendly atmosphere, personalized service, and financial expertise. Whether you're a hardworking farmer, a small business owner, or a local resident, we've got the banking solutions that you need. So kick off your boots and let us take care of your financial needs at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com.
Ranchers looking for grass? Join Piper's Auctioneers for 2 exclusive ranchland auctions in the Tri-State Corner. On December 10th, bid on 2,500 acres of pasture, hay, and hunting land in Bowman and Slope counties near Marmarth on the edge of the Badlands and the Little Missouri Valley. Piper's will also offer a 7,000-acre ranch in Bowman and Fallon counties, built for year-round livestock production with an incredible hay and cropland base. For full details and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to pipers.com.
The North Dakota Stockman's Foundation will host a night of fun-filled Western elegance at the Stockman's Ball December 6th in Bismarck. Come enjoy prime rib, auctions, entertainment, and dancing to live music. Your support will help the foundation provide hope and opportunity for the cattle industry for this generation and the next through disaster relief, scholarships, research, and more. It's a good time and for a good cause. Call 223-2522 for tickets. That's the Stockman's Ball, December 6th in Bismarck.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran-owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Scott Bachmeyer with you here is a 32nd annual Top Cut Bull Sale, 21 Angus Ranch, coming up your way Saturday, January 31st in New England, North Dakota. 200 Top Cut Bulls here. Go to 21angus.com for more information on that bull sale. Kevin Bond is my guest from Wild Walleye Outfitters, and yeah, it's always things go so fast during the show when we get into some of these talks, but we need to get to some of the comments. Are you ready for this?
Yep,
Okay.
let's hear them.
Darren says, with live scope and targeting certain fish, fishing is turning more into like hunting instead of actually fishing.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely true. Guys are definitely being able to put patterns together of these fish more, kind of going out and scouting and seeing where they're moving like you would, deer hunting or anything like that. And, it's not just seeing them on a 2D, but actually being able to see them in real time and yeah, casting right at them, sniping them basically is what you're doing, putting that presentation right on their nose. So yeah, I would say it's not wrong.
So would it work or not to have a fishing tournament that everybody had zero electronics in their entire boat and they all had to use an old Zebco push button rod and reel? How do you think that would work? Like old school?
I don't imagine it would probably be a very big tournament.
Well, the top fishing anglers out there, it'd be interesting to see how they do. All right, so we got some questions about ice fishing, and I will get in. Josh says, seeing a lot of reports of 4 to 5 inch ice around the Bismarck area and north of there, but there's been a lot more colder weather in that side of the state than there has probably been around the spearfish area too. So I'm guessing the ice is going to be different. And let's talk ice fishing a little bit here. Are you going to be outfitting for ice fishing at all this year? Or do you just take the winter off and say, you know what, I enjoy the summertime?
This year I'm planning on just taking the winter off. I got a bunch of tournaments that I'm looking at going to, and just kind of taking a vacation this winter, just getting back to fishing, for myself and enjoying it, and not having all the hustle and bustle of setting up shacks at 4:30 in the morning and 40-mile-an-hour winds. So this winter, I'm just kind of taking the winter off, and I'm going to fish a bunch of tournaments and just get back to kind of enjoying fishing and not have it be a job.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but I also saw on Facebook Wild Walleye Outfitters Orman all-nighter fishing tournaments coming up your way. And I'm guessing you're in charge of that. So you still putting on tournaments.
Yeah, I'll still keep doing the tournaments, keep putting them on. We have a blast doing that, and everybody loves it. It's kind of becoming a pretty good size event up here. Last year we had pretty brutal weather, but every year we seem to grow a little bit on our tournaments, get a few more sponsors, get a few more entries. So I really do love them, and them tournaments are more of, they're more fun than work, I guess, for me. They are a lot of work, but I get to get out there, I get to see everybody, I get to BS with everybody. And that's what I really love, is just hanging out with guys, talking about fishing and seeing how they're doing, and just, being around the sport of it itself.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this tournament. If people are listening, want to get in on it, what, where and what, and how does it work?
So it will be February 7th and 8th. I was made aware that there is a typo on there that says there's a rule meeting in January. That's supposed to say February. That'll be the morning, February 7th, before we go out on the ice. It is at the Belle Fourche Reservoir. To get in, you go on the Wild Walleye Outfitter Facebook page. There'll be a post with the flyer and an application. You print out the application, write your check, mail it in to us, and we'll give you a call back, let you know you get in. Like I said, it starts February 7th. The rules meeting is at 7 o'clock at the main boat ramp at the Belle Fourche Reservoir. You'll check in, you'll get your bump board, because this is a catch, video, and release style tournament, so we don't have to worry about any of the slot limits, or, if you're only catching fish that are over 20, and then we're making sure that, we're not coming out there and just pulling a ton of fish out of the lake and killing them. We're putting them back in the water and not really hurting the population at all out there. Cash prizes, based on 50 entry minimum. First place is going to pay out $1,500 cash. This year for trophies, I'm getting a couple big spoons made, one big spoon and one smaller spoon. And that's kind of how we're going to do our first place trophies from now on. Make like a Daredevil spoon. That way it's kind of the same trophy every year. We have a kids division for 16 and under for $25. They come get in their own tournament, and they got their own cash payouts and trophies and plaques. For the biggest walleye of the tournament, it's a $10 buy-in. We have an ice shack from OC Outdoors to give away. First place in the tournament will also have a custom rod from Michael Bennett, who makes custom rods down out of Nebraska. He sent us up a rod to give away. So lots of cash and prizes to give away. The tournament starts at 8 a.m. on February 7th, and it runs till 11 a.m. on February 8th. And then everybody will bring in their scorecards and bump boards, and we'll give everything away right there at the main boat ramp at the Belle Fourche Reservoir.
So with the format of catch, video, and release on the best 6 fish, if somebody catches 6 fish over 30 inches and measure them up and video them and put them back in the water, can they turn in all of those, or they have to stay with the slot limit?
Nope, it's their best 6. So if they catch 30 fish and do a catch video release, they can, all 6 of them 30 inches go on their scorecard.
Okay. I like that.
And then that way, it gets rid of culling fish where, guys, we don't know if we're going to keep any, sir. They catch 3 or 4 of these smaller fish and keep them, and then all of a sudden they get into a bunch of bigger fish, and, they're not trying to put half frozen fish back down the hole. It eliminates a lot of problems.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the AIM rules basically, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what that's what chart we use from length to weight conversion. There's that AIMS chart, and that's how we get our weights off of them.
Now, there's always a possibility somebody's going to catch something pretty deep, and that fish might have a chance of dying too, just like a regular keep the fish, right? I mean, it's always the same. You're not going to save every one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's, usually if they get them up and they can get them right back in the water, then fish have a pretty good chance of surviving.
So are you having predetermined, like I know in Devil's Lake, they have like, they go out and they have the holes already drilled out, or do you have, you just let these guys go wherever they want to go on Ormond?
Yep, nobody can be on the ice before 8 a.m., so they'll leave the rules meeting. They can be standing on shore with their ice shacks, their four-wheelers, whatever, and at 8 a.m. they can walk out, set up their shacks, run around with their four-wheelers, drill their own holes, travel around. It's basically free reign. Just be respectful, be respectful of other anglers and don't be sitting right up on top of them.
Do you see that ever being a problem in certain areas? Do you see people doing the grumpy old men every once in a while and pushing the other person's shack away, or what?
I haven't personally ran into that. Every once in a while, you do get guys that kind of creep up and get pretty close to other people, but for the most part, these guys are all really respectful and keep their distance.
Well, I tell you, ice fishing around the ground, in every place you got different rules. Have you ever done northern pike spearing?
I have not.
Oh, it's so much fun, Kevin. So much fun.
I've been invited a couple times, but I've always just, in the winter, usually I'm so busy just taking people out that I don't get the chance to go do other things. And, usually once a year we get to go up to Oahe for a week up by Pollock, South Dakota, and me and the wife spend a week up there fishing. And then the rest of the time when I'm fishing, it's drilling holes and setting up shacks for other people.
Mm-hmm. So do you use a lot of tip-ups when you're ice fishing, or do you just stay inside and not worry about those?
Oh, no, I don't really like the tip-ups, I guess. I use more finicky foolers and clam Arctic Warriors, kind of rod and reel setups that work like a tip-up, but you still get to fight the fish on a rod and reel. But, yeah, we set up a lot of them just because of the fact, especially up on the Belfouche, them fish are usually on, a contour line just because of the fact that there's not a lot of structure in that lake. There's a few spots with some structure, but we just set up on them contour lines, and them fish will be kind of running around, coming up and down them breaks. And so we put flags up just to cover more area and get more bites.
Yeah. Let's see. It says a couple messages. Spearing is a blast. The hub I bought can also be used as a dark house. Yeah, so dark house spear fishing. I just enjoy the heck out of that. Nothing like seeing that big old northern slimer come onto your decoy, especially if you're doing it with somebody else. It's a lot of fun here. The mayor Mobridge says Pollock is a nice place on the lake, and there's no doubt about that. Nice area. And Josh asks, have you ever used any Sullivan tip downs? They're great, made in the USA, small business in Wisconsin. I guess I've never heard those tip downs.
I've heard of them. I've got a couple buddies that use them, and they seem to like them. I'm a really big fan of the finicky foolers. I guess I really like them. I pair them up with a snare style rod and a bait feeder reel. I really like how the combo works together. The Arctic Warriors, I also like them just because I really watch them close, and you can usually see them poles start to tip down a little bit before that flag goes up. So before that flag ever trips, I can usually see that bite and get to moving towards them. But I have never tried them tip downs myself.
Have you seen what are people using more electronics when they're ice fishing as well?
Oh yeah, live scope for sure, Vexlers. And there's different brands of the live scope. I can't think of them all. Oh God, what is it? Active Target and Eagle Eye. But yeah, definitely there's way more electronics being used now. Just as many as what people are using in the boats, pretty much. I mean, you got your Vexlers and your Lowrance and your Hummingbirds that are basically giving you, a live 2D version, and then you got your forward-facing sonar that you punch a hole and you spin that around, and you're looking for fish moving in schools of fish, especially panfish, crappie, bluegill, perch, and you'll see them big schools, and okay, I need to walk 75 feet right over there and punch a hole, and bang, you're right on top of the school.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of that during your tournament that people are using that to kind of target where they're going to go, or most people already know?
No, definitely see a lot of live scopes out there ice fishing. People punching, one hole and looking in an area and then punching another hole. That live scope just saves so much time and energy drilling holes and running around looking through, punching 20, 30 holes and then looking in each hole to see where there's a fish, where you punch one hole and you can see 75 feet in a 360-degree circle and say, okay, instead of wasting 20 holes over here, you're going right over there. You're punching 2 holes and fishing right on top of that school. And so now you're wasting less time drilling holes and bouncing from hole to hole to hole, cleaning them out and looking, and, not being nothing there, as to now you're punching one hole, boom, you drop that in, you're making your 360. Okay, there's the fish right there. Go right over there, punch your next 2 holes and fish.
I wonder what people in Florida, if they're listening on YouTube, they're looking at it and why would anybody want to go out in the winter and do this? It sounds like a lot of work. Or you can just go on down the south and be able to get on a boat right away. What's your favorite? Do you? Some people live for ice fishing, man. I mean, of course, up in our area, it's 9 months out of the year. Basically, you can ice fish sometimes. What's the draw to ice fishing over boat fishing, open water fishing? Why do some people just live for it? Do the fish taste better when it's this chilly out?
I actually think they do. Bringing them up out of that cold water, the meat's so much firmer. Like crappie, for example, I won't eat a crappie that I catch in the summertime, but when you catch them out of that cold water in the wintertime, they're just as good as eating as a walleye, I believe. In the summertime, I think they're a little mushy, and that's why I don't like keeping them in the summertime. But the draw, I guess, to ice fishing for me is I love being able to sit there and, you're jigging, hanging out. We put up the big shack and, we're sitting there and play cards and you're watching, you get a fish come in, jig them up. You're out chasing flags, hanging out. And it's just a lot more room. You're not stuck in a boat. But then on the other hand, you're, half hour setting everything up and punching holes and before you can relax, where, in the summertime when you're putting the boat on, you jump in and you hit the Dorado and you're off.
Yeah.
When you're done, you run the boat up on the trailer and you lift up the motor and you're done and you're gone. To where when you're done fishing, in the wintertime, that's when the work starts, is packing everything up and loading it up and getting that ice shack to fit back in the bag. And it's so much more work, but I don't know. I'm torn. By the end of boat season, I just can't wait for ice to start. And by the end of ice season, I can't wait to get the boat back out.
Yeah. Well, Josh commented, he says he likes to fish, but usually leans toward ice fishing because he's usually too busy in working in the summertime. That I can see that too. In the wintertime, it seems like your days are a little bit shorter depending on where you work, I guess. But I could definitely see that. But all right, tell us before we have to go here for the full day. Tell us again a little bit more about the ice fishing tournament, so people are interested. They can get in touch with you through Facebook and find this again. When, where, and how is it going to work again?
So we're going to start February 7th. You go to Wild Walleye Outfitters Facebook page, print off your application, and get that sent in to me by January 31st with your check. And then February 7th at 7 a.m., we will have a rules meeting at the main boat ramp of the Belfouche Reservoir. You'll come check in. We'll get you your bump board. We'll do a rules meeting. 8 o'clock, you head out on the ice. 11 o'clock, you come back the next day to the boat ramp, turn in your scorecard. It's a catch video release style that using the aim weight to length to weight conversion chart. Basically, the whole lake's wide open. Best 6 fish. It's not any regulations on the fish you catch. $100 entry fee to get in. First place, if we get 50 entries, will be $1,500. We're paying out the top 6, trophies, plaques, prizes. There'll be a big fish contest that costs $10 to get in. You'll have a chance to win 100% of that pot and a clam ice shack that's donated to us by OC Outdoors.
Awesome. Go to Wild Walleye Outfitters Facebook page to find more. Kevin, thank you so much. And if you'd ever put like a ice fishing coyote tournament mixed together, I'd be in on that. Like a duels. Try to call coyotes in out on Lake Ormond. I think that'd be awesome.
Well, we'll have to look forward to that in the future, see if we can get something in the works.
All right. Have yourself a good day. Thanks, Kevin, for coming on the program. Thanks for tuning in today all across the Dakota Territory. Eat some meat, drink some milk, wear fur and wool, and have yourself a beautiful Saturday. All right, Kevin, we should be clear off of the radio stations here. Radio stations, thank you. Appreciate that. So there you go, my friend. Thank you again.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me on and getting the information out there.
Absolutely. It looks like I'm going to have one ugly drive to Bismarck today. It is downright ugly here at the ranch right now. So
yeah, it was snowing here when I walked into the house a minute ago. Kind of, I don't know, a little bit of flurry here and there. It definitely don't look nice out though. That's for sure.
it's coming sideways here.
Oh, geez.
So,
yeah, we're not quite that bad yet.
well.
Got a basketball game here in town to go to in a little bit, so at least I don't have to drive very far.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, a couple people saying good shows here. We have our guys ice fishing trip in January planned for Pactola. That's cool. All right. Snowing pretty good here in Bismarck. Headed to Killdeer around noon. Okay. Safe travels. Great show. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you, Waylon. All right, Kevin, I'm going to let you run here. I got to get my poop in a group and get some of the livestock fed here before I hit the road. So it's going to be a long drive up to Bismarck.
Sounds great. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. See you, man. Bye.
Bye.
All right. YouTubers. I might see some of you here tonight. We'll see, but I got to get my stuff going. Otherwise, I'd sit here and bullshit with you a little bit more. So it's snowing good. Yeah, I think it's just going to be that awesome of a trip. Yeehaw. See ya today.